So Trump's recent remarks about Epstein and Virginia Giuffre, they're lighting up a lot of discussions, aren't they?
Yep, it's kind of blowing up. There's definitely layers to unpack there.
Exactly, it's like a double-edged sword. On one side, he seems to be trying to downplay certain allegations, and on the other, he throws in some hints that might be, strategically shifting political narratives all at once.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It becomes almost like a carefully choreographed performance, doesn't it?
For sure. I mean, his remarks almost signal that there's a broader conversation at stake, not just about Epstein's case, but about how the justice system and even political accountability is perceived by his base.
Yeah, and what really stands out is the way he juxtaposes these controversial subjects. It's almost as if he's deflecting attention from any legal and ethical inquiries under his own watch.
Exactly. It's like he's saying, look, there's a whole other messy narrative out there. And by doing that, he also creates space for his supporters to rally around his version of events without delving into uncomfortable
Yep.
details.
Right. And what also fascinates me is how these remarks, intentionally or not, contrast with the well-documented accounts of Epstein's network and the victim narratives provided by Virginia Giuffre.
Uh-huh. It's almost like there's a battle over who gets to tell the story. You have voices like Virginia's representing a painful truth, while Trump's comments seem aimed at casting doubt or offering an alternative angle.
I have to ask though, do you think his tone signifies a genuine reevaluation of these issues, or is it more about maintaining political momentum?
It's tricky. On one hand, any former leader making such remarks might signal a moment of reckoning, but on the other hand, given his track record, it's more like a calculated move to solidify his standing.
Mm-hmm.
His narrative strategy is all about controlling the narrative, right?
Absolutely. It's like he's constructing a shield around his political persona. Whenever uncomfortable topics arise, he's ready to pivot the discussion onto these controversial issues.
Yeah, and what's even more interesting is how the media is handling it. There's this whole echo chamber where some outlets seem to amplify his remarks while others push back, questioning the motivations behind them.
Right? And isn't it a bit ironic? I mean, you've got traditional news channels and independent platforms like the one hosted by Vicky Ward dissecting every word. It almost becomes a tug of war between interpretations.
Exactly. Imagine it like a seesaw, where on one end you have narrative control and on the other, accountability. Every remark plays into that balance.
Yeah,
And when the balance tips one way, it kind of validates one narrative over another.
that's a good analogy. And I guess one of the core issues is whether Trump's comments are seen as a redirection or an outright attempt to rewrite facts about Epstein's grim legacy and Virginia's suffering.
For sure, it's like he's trying to muddy waters, making it harder for people to pinpoint where the real ethical failure lies. And by doing so, he diverts attention away from potential legal liabilities.
But here's something I'm curious about. Do you think that this constant narrative shifting has a long-term impact on public trust in the institutions that are supposed to hold powerful figures accountable?
Absolutely, it does. And in a very dangerous way. When political figures blur the lines between fact and interpretation, it erodes the baseline of accountability.
Right.
The public starts to wonder what to believe, which narratives are true and which are just political spins.
That erosion of trust is what can ultimately undermine our democratic processes. People become so fixated on partisan narratives that real accountability gets lost.
Yeah, it's like, when a kid keeps changing the story about who broke a vase, and soon everyone is confused about what really happened? Only now it's on a national scale.
Exactly. And that's concerning because, in a way, it sets a precedent for how future controversies might be handled. If edgy remarks become just another tool in a political arsenal, then even the most serious allegations can be diluted.
True, but there's also this element of the public's fascination with scandal that fuels these discussions. It's as if every remark, however controversial or offhand, becomes a headline that people latch onto. And that can keep the cycle going indefinitely.
Right. And this constant cycle of scandal also serves as a distraction from more pressing issues. Sometimes it seems like a strategy to keep the spotlight exactly where it's wanted.
Yeah, sort of like a magician's trick where the sleight of hand diverts attention from the real act. You get caught up in the theatrics, not noticing what's really happening off stage.
Exactly. And this is where one can respectfully challenge the idea that it's just theatrics. I mean, some argue that these remarks might, intentionally or otherwise, trigger deeper investigations. Don't you think there's a chance it could backfire on him?
That's a fair point. It's like playing with fire. You know, the more you engage with these narratives, the more you risk igniting an investigation that could uncover troublesome details you'd rather keep hidden. Sometimes the backlash can be more severe than anticipated.
Right, and while his supporters might see it as bold, the broader legal and ethical implications might catch up sooner or later.
Exactly. And when that happens, it's not just about political fallout. It's about how seriously we take allegations of abuse and misconduct. If influential figures downplay those, then the victim's voice might be undermined even more.
Yeah.
It raises critical questions about societal values.
And that's probably why so many media outlets are quick to dissect every word. It's not only political theater, but also a marker of shifting societal conversations on abuse, accountability, and justice.
Right, and there's a duality in these interpretations. One narrative tries to minimize and control the narrative around Epstein's scandal, while the other, stronger narrative emphasizes the need to remember the victims and hold power to account.
And that duality is exactly what makes it so compelling to follow. It's not black and white, it's a gray area of political maneuvering versus real moral accountability.
Absolutely. And one has to remember that remarks like these don't exist in a vacuum. They're deeply intertwined with current political dynamics and media ecosystems. It's like a ripple effect where every throw of a stone causes waves that affect public sentiment.
Right, and these ripples can either settle into patterns that inform policy or disrupt the entire foundation of public trust. It really depends on how the other parts of the system respond.
And that's the crux of the matter, isn't it? The broader implications of such remarks go way beyond just the words themselves. They signal the kinds of narratives that can either empower victims to speak out or embolden powerful figures to maintain control.
Exactly. On one hand, there's the hope that accountability will prevail, but on the other, there's the fear that a continuous narrative shift might ignore historical truths.
Sure, it's like sometimes these remarks serve as a smokescreen. They distract from the enduring pains and the long journey toward justice that many victims have experienced. And that, frankly, is a disservice to everyone involved.
I totally agree. It puts us in an interesting position as observers, constantly having to sift through layers of rhetoric to find what is genuine accountability and what is just political maneuvering.
Yeah, it's a challenging time to be deciphering truth from spin, especially when high stakes are involved and every remark ignites a firestorm of debate.
Absolutely, and as we watch these narratives unfold, it's crucial to keep asking the hard questions and not let any narrative dominate without scrutiny.